Just go. When you want me, baby, yeah. Just call me. Just go. Just call. Just call. Let me kiss your body. Fill you with love. Let me feed your body. Fill you with love. I can't sleep when I ain't close to you. I cry. Let me feel your body. This is love. This is how I love you. This is love, my love. This is how I love you. I love you. I adore you. Mind, body, and soul. Search my whole life for you. Yeah. Deeper than blood, deeper than blood. This is love. This is how I love you. This is love, my love. This is how I love you. This is love. This is how I love you. Stir it up, move your body nice and slow. Yeah. Stir it up. Stir it up. Move your body nice and slow. Yeah. Stir it up. Move your body nice and slow.
Happy Sunday, everybody. It's been an interesting weekend. I want to say it's been an interesting week. Hello to everybody in the chat. Hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday. DeAndre, bro, what was it? The thumbnail, or was it the art of war that brought you out of that had you drop down from the clouds, bro? What's up? Good to see you. But you know what's interesting to me? And I'm going to say this. I'll say this to Rita, and I'll say this to Reed. But in particular, I'm going to say this to Reed. When I ended my stream last night or in the wee hours of the morning this morning, and I said to you to basically go to sleep, you don't have to go through the receipts. I just needed to hear from you, which is why I asked you, right? It wasn't necessarily feasible for me to ask you that on the back end because we don't have back end conversations. So at the end of the day, all war is deception. Do you honestly believe being born and raised in the streets of Philadelphia on my own since I was 13? Do you think I lived to see 49 years of age? Lord willing, because I'm not 49 yet. Because I would take the word of a motherfucker that would be behind the scenes talking about I should have got my head blown off. See, he was confused. And again, he made the mistake that a lot of people mistake, a lot of mistakes that a lot of individuals make. They underestimate you because you're a woman. So don't ever forget that these motherfuckers still have penises. And if at all possible, if they can finesse you, they'll do just that. And if you're talking about a weak bitch like Fabe, well, she's never going to be the puppet master. She's always going to be the puppet. A lonely, miserable bitch like Kwani that should have died a long time ago. Hopefully, the amount of pressure that I put on her, she'll be one shot away from alcohol poisoning by the time I'm finished with the bitch. See, you all may not have caught it last night on the State of the Beef sector, or you may have seen it, I'm sure, but didn't really give it much thought. Do you remember when QB said, when it came to Kwani, we had to tap her on the hands? So I guess they had to punish her when she was disobedient or when she's not doing what they want her to do. But now, the very same bitch that took a soundbite of me dragging that bitch for filth is going to use a song that she's singing about murdering me, right? Because again, she's a weak bitch. So she's always going to have somebody else to be her mouthpiece. Just like QB there is a weapon for her. Pay close attention to who they invited to join them to take part in this list. If you think that's by accident, well, then you will be mistaken. There's absolutely no fucking way I would ever believe that a motherfucker that would be behind the scenes, mind you, at one point when I was going to Jay Wilson, what was he doing? Sharing my videos. But what was the instruction that he gave the side eyes? To just keep their eyes open and keep their ears to the ground, but stay, keep it low key. I think a lot of you underestimate the extremes that narcissistic people will go to. Right now, everybody's providing entertainment for them. They do that because they derive satisfaction from confusion and chaos. They don't like it when things are quiet. They don't like it when things were peaceful. I was almost physically sickened when I heard this bitch go live this morning. And suddenly, she has so much concern for the fallout between Mother and Duchess Kelly Love. When the interesting thing is that was her whole intent by releasing the audio recording, to cause confusion. I would never believe an individual that without rhyme or reason, a person that I had never wronged or done anything to, would be behind a stream with a couple, would be behind the scenes with a couple of hundred people talking about, I should have gotten my head blown off. I would never believe that a fucking thing that came out of his fucking mouth was ever put out there for any fucking reason, but with him having an ulterior motive. And Reed, your assessment would be accurate. See, at the end of the day, when you talk about washed up individuals, I pay attention to trends. And just like everybody else, I watch the numbers. It's no coincidence that he doesn't drop down into Five Babe's chat, but nonetheless, he's dropping down in Pizarro's chat. Yes, because when it comes to the beef sector, that's where everything is at. That's where it goes down. So Reed, you were 100% accurate in your assessment. But it's not, I can't tell you what to do, but it's not your responsibility to peel everybody's eyes open, to take and pass out toothpicks so that everybody keeps their eyes peeled. If they believe that he dropped down from out of the clouds for any other reason than because he had a hidden agenda and an ulterior motive, well, that would be on them. We all have lessons to learn. That's what life is about. You live and you learn. So you don't have to explain yourself anymore. That old decrepit bitch that should have died a long time ago. She's nothing more than a puppet in their show. And contrary to her getting up here, constantly talking about the fact that, oh, this is just a social media application, make no mistake about it. That bitch has nobody in her real life that loves her, cares about her, or gives a fuck about her. That's why she's so heavily invested in people on YouTube. The fact that of all the things, of all the people that she could go after, to go after Duchess Kelly's mother, or to threaten to dox her, that tells you what type of person she is. Anybody that would make the mistake of ever trusting that bitch based on what she's done to the people that she's expecting this devotion and this blind loyalty from, I'm not going to say that they get whatever they deserve or they deserve whatever they get, but something like that. So you don't have to go to your platform, sis, and keep proving to anybody anything. It was necessary for me to ask you that, and to ask you that publicly, and to have you answer. You don't have to keep going through explaining yourself. They both believe that they're always the smartest bitch and the smartest nigga in the room. Because after all, they did think that just sharing my videos or just sharing my live streams or shouting me out or sending people to my channel would be enough to turn me into one of their attack dogs. Because make no mistake about it, when that bitch stepped foot in this sector, that was her intent, to recruit flying monkeys. But she's lazy and she doesn't do her research, because had she done her research, which she would have realized is that the way that I operate and the people in this sector would be a lot more familiar with that. And I'm talking about the vets that have been here. Know that when somebody does that, when I clock that that's your intent, I'm going to allow you to walk into it, but you won't walk out of it the way you walked into it, because it's going to be your head that's on the silver platter. I'm in everybody's bushes, and I'm in everybody's bushes for a reason. Nothing comes to read, what's the saying in Philadelphia? Nothing comes to a motherfucking dreamer but a nightmare. If somebody was going to line you up to kill you, who do you think that they send to you to set you up a lot of times? A lot of murders that take place. Who do you think it is that does it? A total stranger? But there's a caveat to that whole plot and scheme. You're never supposed to let the individual whose intent was to line you up, you're not supposed to ever let them get wind that you're on to them. Because what's supposed to happen, for all intents and purposes, is that you're supposed to set them up. And the moment that they think they've got you into a position and you're about to meet your end, that's when they're supposed to meet theirs. That's the way that's supposed to go. So I find it interesting. They rarely can get through a live stream without talking about the time that I spent in prison. Well, how do you think I survived? Do you think I survived being a dumb bitch? Do you think I survived by taking the bait by professional setup artists? So you don't have to keep explaining to these people a goddamn thing. And I concur. They're all working together. And I believe Seven Stars is as well. I don't believe it was a coincidence. See, the fact of the matter is, Seven Stars took the bait that her enemy, seemingly, right? Seemingly, Five Babe is her enemy. But nonetheless, she would take something that she put out there for her to sink her teeth in instead of coming to me. Well, why would she do that? Well, because she had an agenda from the beginning. She just didn't think I was aware of it. And because I didn't speak on it, she thought for some reason it escaped me, her proximity to my arch enemy. It's not a bitch on this platform that would have that type of luxury. So when I say I was waiting on that bitch at the door, I was just waiting for her to jump off of the porch. And she used that opportunity. Do you think sending her the Cash App was a coincidence? What happened after I sent the Cash App? So, oh no, I'm not the rookie. What did she do within 24 hours after me sending the Cash App? Do you think I didn't hear her live streams? So she took the bait because she had an incentive to take the bait. What was the first thing that 5A did? Did she or did she not start calling for help and start appealing to my enemies? The interesting thing is, do you think that my enemies have been able to defeat me? You weren't aware of the fact that I've defeated the very people that you're appealing to for help. That it's not a goddamn thing they could do with me. That's the reason why I do what I do dolo, and they do what the fuck they can do about it, which is nothing. But get together, mob deep on panels, only for me to run through them like a motherfucking locomotive train. So when she brought her ass over here into this sector, this Shark Tank, this Orca Tank, you're not on home base over here. You were at a disadvantage the moment you stepped foot over here for ammunition to be able to go at people that you should have been able to. You're the queen of the beef sector. You're the self-appointed queen. Why would you have to use people from another sector to go at a Cladiva? That's because you don't do your research and you don't study your opponent. And anytime you rely on other people for your information, you're always going to end up with it being a situation of the hunter being captured by the game. So it's unfortunate that Duchess Kelly and Mother, who are friends in real life, that trolls and people that don't have the ability to create any other content. This is what I'm talking about when I said the bitch will never be a Tasha K. She'll never be a Lovely T. Lovely T built her platform off of covering true crime and current events that were based on facts before she became a celebrity gossip channel. Is it some coincidence that that what's coming out of Five Babe's mouth is mirroring what Sean Bradley is saying? No, not at all. So the moment that you stepped your foot over here, see, there was a reason why I wasn't running around hopping on panels in the beef sector. There was a reason why I stayed on my own turf. And every time she came over here attempting to recruit as a flying monkey, what will make you think I would trust a bitch that would entertain my enemies? Oh no, I wasn't going to say anything about it. Sometimes when you tend to say something about something or you tend to call things out, people are able to clock that you're on to them. And I enjoy bitches thinking that they've gotten one over on me. Because if you know anything about the way that workers hunt, they start out playing with you before they kill you. So sit back and enjoy them playing their game. Just sit back and watch. Become an observer. Because apparently they didn't do their research. Six Figures, I don't think they did their research, boo. Not at all. I guess the quote of the day should be: the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. That's from The Art of War, Sun Tzu, or herself. So I hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday. The other interesting thing is the ones that thought that they were lining me up to go against a native Philadelphian. Well, the fact of the matter is, I tend to be of a vindictive, spiteful, treacherous bitch. I don't forgive. God does. So, with that being said, there would never be any forgiveness for a motherfucker that had absolutely no rhyme or reason to be in secrecy with a bunch of gossiping fucking bitches talking about the fact that I should have gotten my head blown off. For some reason, he believes he's walked away unscathed. And I assure you this: you will have no such luxury. It was going to be your head that was going to actually be the grand finale. Oh, I suppose I spilled that bit of tea. Now go run tell that out there on the YouTube streets. Mods, if you could drop the links of the content creators that came into the chat, I certainly appreciate you all. I hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday. I'm going to be I've been doing research, and I'm going to be covering my actual content. See, oh, I'm sorry. The other thing about the way that orcas hunt is that you'll never see it coming. I'll be doing regular content, covering true crime, covering my content on narcissism, and then bam. The same way that Tentacum jumped up out of that tank and grabbed Dawn by that ponytail and pulled her down into the water. And if you watch that footage, there's a point when Tentacum allows Dawn to get to the surface of the water, and she thought that she was going to actually get away. That was a way of him expressing his disdain. They won't see it coming. I promise you that. But not a single one of them is going to escape or walk away unscathed. Of that much, I assure you. So rally all the troops, because at the end of the day, they won't be able to help you or save you, right? But maybe it'll give you some sort of comfort. I don't think a lot of the people that these people seem to be able to trigger, especially emotionally, I don't think you realize that you give them their content. And that if all of you join together, you could literally starve them out. But that's up to you all if you do that. Okay? Again, mods, if you could drop the links to the content creators that came into the chat. Thank you guys for those of you that shared the stream. I'll be doing some of my original content this week. And when I decide to go after my enemy and which enemy I decide to go after, well, I'll let that be a secret. The same type of, I guess it's to build up the momentum. The same way they thought that they were going to be able to build up the momentum. See, here's the thing. When it comes to native Philadelphians, I'm talking about men and women that were born and raised here in this city. We move differently. So don't ever think you would be able to play me against another native Philadelphian. Because before I made any move, I would reach out to that individual and have a conversation with them. And however we chose to handle it will be the way that we choose to handle it. That wouldn't be your business. The same way you all are on the back end plotting and scheming and talking about things and about your strategies, but coming out here leading everybody to believe that you don't fuck with each other. Yeah. Something like that. But the fact of the matter is, there would never be anything that Reed could send. Because she and I have never had a conversation, and she wasn't privy to any of my information. That she could have sent anybody. Not anything, and especially not anything that was exclusive. Her, Rita, or nobody else in the beef sector would have ever, we've never had those type of conversations. There's never been an exchange of information. The other interesting thing that Reed talked about was the fact that Sean Bradley was on Patreon. The same way he was on Patreon talking about I should have had my head blown off. It's not a coincidence that all of these little rivalries and all of these little fires are being lit with him and Five Babe's enemies. Hey, Duchess. That's not a coincidence. And they're doing it for their own entertainment. Well, hopefully before all is said and done, I'll be able to go live and ask you, are you not entertained? So keep that same energy when you become the butt of entertainment. With that being said, you all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Hey, Diet. And I'll catch up with you guys later. Peace.